Are the Knicks going to do good this year?
Oh, come on, leave us alone.
Melo just took off.
The Knicks, I know. We needed that, though.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, get some young guys.
Yeah, but I mean, the Knicks I feel like the Knicks are cursed. I feel like the Jets and Knicks are cursed. I feel like there's an energy in Madison Square Garden that's just cursed the Knicks since the 70s, and the same for the Jets since like 73.
On the Todd Shapiro Show, SiriusXM 168.
See, this is the deal. Albert Einstein once said, so corny as it is, but he once said he had no special talents. He's only passionately curious. And while he was lying about the no special talents part.
Yeah, really, Albert Einstein.
What a jerk, actually.
Yeah, what a phony, humble brag.
A little
I'm not special. I'm just.
But the passionately curious, I have that in me.
Oh,
like,
good. You're curious? Okay.
Yeah,
well, that's good.
And I think a bit of a chameleon. Like, I think I adapt, like, if whether you're a basketball player, a comedian, or, like, just a bum. Like, I'll sit there and you're all three.
A bum? Yes, that's correct. Well put. Well, that's our segue.
I'll leave it at that. You enjoying your time in Toronto?
And I respect it because I know you got basketball sneakers on, so you play.
I used to play better.
Yeah, well, that's what we all say. We all used to play. Have I spent time in Toronto? John, I just got here yesterday.
Oh, you did?
But I've been here a couple of times. Sure.
In and out. Yeah.
I know it's the kind of place I've always, I've always liked Toronto for some reason.
It's a cool city. We're good. I mean, there's good people, diverse. It's fun.
I feel like they're smart comedy club audiences. Well, I only judge people by the comedy club audience. I don't really care what they like outside of that.
That's good. That's good.
You know
So, I mean,
it's good to a degree. You don't want to be like the guy that was like, in Berlin in 1933, and you're like, I just judge the crowd. But yeah.
That guy he didn't turn out to be a good guy.
I just judge it by it's a good crowd. That's all I'm saying about Berlin.
So have you noticed in your career that's, how long, 3-4 decades? How long have you been doing this?
Yeah, since 84.
84.
Whatever that is.
That's unbelievable. That's
3.5
time ago. Yeah, three.
Yeah.
Are the crowds are there certain places now that you're like, oh, I'm not going there. They're not good audiences.
Well, the only place I really have that is Hollywood, Florida. And even them, I came to an agreement with them in my last show there. That was like 12 years ago. I go, here's the problem. I figured out because they're all young, good-looking, tan. It's like a South Florida. I go, here's the problem. Most people live the American dream where they work hard their whole life, and then they get a beach house or they get a retirement. And then I go, you people cut out the middleman. You just moved from whatever town you're from, started working in bars down here, doing coke, drinking, and you're in just party mode all the time. And they started cheering because that's why they were the worst crowd.
A sense of entitlement.
Yeah, and they're just party animals and a lot of coke. I think coke brings out a sense of entitlement in people too.
Oh yeah, and a lot of good business ideas at 3 a.m. Right?
Yeah. Well, you can't resist saying it right then. Yeah.
Is there still a lot of coke in comedy? Does that that's notorious?
No, I feel like I wouldn't know. Those generations are. Like you say, who knows what goes on in that generation? But it doesn't seem like it seems like that was a thing from before my time. Even by the time I got into comedy, it was a more or less straight arrow profession. It seemed like
You must hate this. Your relationship with Seinfeld. I'm sure a lot of people always ask you about.
I don't hate it.
It's. I find that. I remember one of my favorite movies of all time is the comedian documentary back in 2001. Him and Orny Adams and of course you're a big part of that. Just hanging out.
Yeah.
And I love the hang. You seem like You seem like the guy Colin Quinn who's just fun to just sit and have a normal hang with.
Yeah, I do like to hang. I do. You don't like to admit it about yourself, but ultimately you just want to sit around and just, insult people.
Yeah.
Insult each other.
Chirp each other.
Like whoever shows up. Yeah, exactly. That's the ultimate hang, and I've loved that since I was a little kid.
Have you noticed that? Me too. I'm the exact same way. And I find, though, it's harder to do that fucking shit because everyone's super sensitive. You're worried about the trip you'll even give your buddy now.
Right. I've heard a lot of older comedians say, I hang out with these young comedians. I insult them. They're like, what are you saying that for?
It's. Do you find that's a shame, especially in the comedic world? Do you find that a bit almost a shame that people aren't just?
Yeah, well, it's a certain style that I feel is lost. You know what I mean? And Clint Eastwood did it very badly, but he did it in that movie where he was in. Remember, he's like the old curmudgeonly guy and. The Asian.
He drove
It was the car, right?
Oh, what the hell? That's the name of the movie, Gran Torino.
Gran Torino.
Yes, of course.
And remember, he goes to the barbershop. Hey, and he's trying to teach the kid that. It was a little ham-handed the way they did it.
That was a little more racist.
But it was also ham-handed.
Yeah.
I
define it. I don't actually define a ham-handed. I don't know.
I just mean it was kind of like forced.
Like,
You know what I mean? You can't force it. You have to just. It should have been more natural, like where the kid picked it up. Instead, he's like, "Here's how you talk." It's like you can't tell people, "Hey, here's how you banter." But I appreciate what he's trying to do.
And I guess every generation's different. I mean, maybe that's us just, back to now we're the old curmudgeons. Like we don't accept that. But they're pussies, let's be honest.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a weird thing to it. I mean, well, it's certainly just like a weird, everything's subjective too. So, of course, what's offensive is, that kind of stuff, but it's not offensive, to say other things like,
Well, the thing that upsets me, though, is it's so clear people's intentions. And I think that's the art that's lost, is people don't recognize that there's no maliciousness behind it. And that's what upsets me, that people don't see that.
They choose to see behind it and go, no, there is maliciousness. You just don't see how malicious you are,
Your buddy Seinfeld once said he wouldn't do the college stuff anymore, like for the very same thing I think we're talking about.
Yeah.
Have you ever found that, too? You got to be certain, back to the audiences and
I
stuff?
mean, I don't do colleges for a long time. Just, I aged out. I mean, what am I going to talk about college? I mean, I did a college a few weeks ago, but it was parents' weekend, so it was the kids and the parents.
Okay.
And that's fine. Or like I can do a homecoming, but I can't do a straight college. It would be ludicrous. What would I have to say to college? You know what I mean? But so I don't know. But I mean, of course, I've heard that from 100 people, yeah.
I love the expression aged out. I feel like I'm going to tell that to my wife, who's 12 years younger than me. Like, I've aged out tonight. It's been a long day.
Yes.
If you don't mind, I'm going to
I've
pawn
aged
that
out,
off
honey.
you.
Yeah.
You're in town, of course, for JFO 42. Back in the day, you used to, Colin, do the weekend update. Everyone remembers that. Norm Macdonald got fired. You come in. I think around your time, if I recall correctly, there was a lot of the Lewinsky going on with Bill Clinton and that stuff. Do you ever think to yourself, fuck, I'd love to be doing that right now because of Trump?
Yes. I mean, but at the same time, it's overkill where you just have to. I mean, he makes it a thing every day. Almost every day, he'll tweet something where you're like, wow, what's his end game? And so, yeah, of course it would be interesting right now. And I mean, everyone's watching because every day, And even though there's so many shows now that do it every day, they still wait for weekend update for a little angle, which makes it hard for those guys, too. They have to come up with the angle that nobody's done all week.
Oh, especially with the Colberts now and,
all
the
these
brilliant...
exactly.
That is true. That would be extra pressure.
Yeah.
But, and sadly, this is where Trump's madness or genius is he's too quick. Like you, and I think he, as the narcissist that is, he must plan that. He must know that you can't catch up.
Well, I think that may be the one strategy he actually had. Yeah, you may be right. It's so hard to read that mind.
Is it? Are you worried for your country?
Well, you get a little nervous once in a while. I mean, but this country's. I mean, the United States has been about to have a civil war for like 20 years. So this is nothing. He's the manifestation of it on both sides. I feel like he got elected partially because the right was trying to say F you to everybody on the left for being so politically correct in their way. So it's a combination. I feel like Trump is the manifestation of what's been going on in the country for the past 20 years.
Do you think, Colin, and by the way, thanks so much for your time, man. I'm super grateful for this. Do you think there can be compromise found? Is that possible at this point?
I really don't. I feel like I don't know one society where compromise is really, you know what I mean? Like, I feel the only possibility is like a horrible tragedy. You know what I mean? Like a space invasion where like Martians come and kill millions. I feel like everybody needs to have somebody to attack. And when you don't, you attack each other,
not to sort of personalize it, but I've said that on this very same show. We need Independence Day 3 to happen in real life.
That's correct.
And then that's the only thing that's going to bring us together.
Because then you have a little perspective. You go, all right, that bugs me a little bit, but it's nothing compared to what it could be. You know what I mean? You need that, you need that tragedy to make you go, all right, and get a little perspective on life.
We need more Jeff Goldblum, I think is what we're saying. we need more Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. Because all the people fighting over all the little things in life. Like I was coming out here today, and some guy was coming in out of the Eaton Center in a wheelchair, And I was like, guess what? You talk to this guy. Have this guy in the conversation. He'll go, is that really what's going on here? You two fighting. Is that really a big deal? Well, let's trade right now.
perspective.
You know what I mean?
Perspective.
Yeah.
It's I know. We don't see it. We should see it.
I know.
We're all blessed.
We're supposed to be evolved, but we're not evolved.
Does money change? Has money changed you a little bit? I don't know your net worth, and I don't Google that
I
stuff.
wish I, yeah.
Yeah, but well, say how about this? Related to a guy like Seinfeld, does it change a guy like that, or you still have the same conversations you had when you're hanging out in those comedy?
No,
clubs?
everybody changes. You kidding me? I mean, everybody, even me. I mean, I'm not in any of these guys' category. I mean, it's almost. I mean, if I had planned correctly, I would be. But either way, even me, I don't understand about $10 the way everybody else does. About $20, I don't understand that. So yeah, it totally changes people. And you think you're thinking the same way, but you're not.
Is it harder to be creative and funny when you have things kind of easier?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, that's why. In some ways, I'm happy I'm not really rich. But I mean, it's still, it is harder. Everybody has to start digging, and and you can't pretend not to have something because that doesn't read. You're like, that's not real. So people can't be. I remember when Johnny Carson was on, and he'd be like, making some joke, and if Don Rickles was on, this is why Don Rickles was so beloved by comedians. And he'd be like, just stop at the gas station. Don's like, Johnny, you don't look at your money when you go to the gas station. Stop, Johnny. You're rich. Your family's back in Nebraska going, does he ever call? And he just would start calling him out. And he goes, Johnny, and then Johnny would make some other joke about music. He'd go, Johnny, we're old. It's over. And it was so funny because he was calling out both of them.
So genuine.
Yes.
It's so. I mean, that's an important thing. Do you so where do you derive on your material now for your shows?
Well, I mean,
and you're headlining tonight, by the way.
Yeah. Tonight I'm at the Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And yeah. I mean, my whole thing is what's good is the system. My thing is all system. I mean, my last 3 shows have been more historical. Like history of the United States and the history of the world and history of New York. So my it's all based on human behavior, what I think is normal human behavior that we all do and experience based on, but within the context of the history of the world,
I like that, which shows evolution, or maybe we're not evolving.
Right, exactly. No, it does show that we're not evolving as humans. Technologically we evolve. As humans, we don't really.
Do you ever start to consider that we are part of the system? You hear the Elon Musks of the world, and we're in a simulated environment like the Matrix. Do you start to think that with age?
What do you mean?
Where I think I'm a little bit weird, though.
Right.
A lot weird. And I thought this when I was 16, high on my dock in my cottage one day, and I didn't dare tell anybody. And then the older I got, I'm starting to see it where I actually, and I've said it on the show before, so I apologize for people who've heard me say this, but I think we are created as artificial intelligence. I really believe something else has created us. And we're slowly getting to the point, Colin, where we might understand who that is or what that is.
Well, but I mean, why would that not be God and we're just his artificial intelligence, quote unquote?
And that's just because I'm not religious.
But I'm saying it's the same principle.
It is. It's funny because someone who I always say I'm not religious, they say it's the exact same thing. Like there is something else. If I'm saying there's something else out there, then that
created us as this artificial intelligence, a.k.a. human beings. Yeah.
And we're eventually now catching up to maybe discovering what that was. The same way
I don't think we are catching up.
Well,
technologically, we catch up to a lot of stuff. But as human beings, here's what I'm saying. If you watch a Shakespearean play, you laugh at the doctor draining blood by they're trying to cure the guy by cutting him open and draining his blood. You're like, how primitive. But you laugh at the play, oh, yeah, jealousy. We're still like that. Oh, that idiot. I know that one jerk in every the pompous person. Oh, the person is a backstabber. Still the exact same characters today.
Yeah, we can't shake that ego or emotion.
We haven't shaken any of our... That's what I'm saying. We're not evolving as human beings. Technologically, we evolve.
That's sad.
I think it's terrible, but it's the way it is.
Yeah. I finally got the cynicism out of Colin Quinn that I expected.
What do you mean?
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Are you married? I don't even know.
I live with my girlfriend.
You live with a girlfriend? Good for you. Yeah. You like living with a girlfriend?
Yeah, I mean, it's got,
security.
Well, I mean, when you ask that question on radio or on anything, it's kind of like, when you're sitting, with ISIS, you're not gonna sit there and go, hey, you know what? These guys are treating me like shit.
I don't have enough listeners for her to worry about that. we're okay in that department. If it was
I'm not going to
Stern's
say
show,
anything
yeah.
negative.
That-
But she's great, yeah.
that's how long's that been going on for?
A couple of years.
A couple of years.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Is dating? I mean, you're not dating now. You're together, but
Right.
has dating ever changed throughout the years?
Of course, once you get on TV, it changes.
Nice.
I mean, you become an ass, and, there's just so many, you're just on the road, You can imagine. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Is it too tempting at times?
Well, if you indulge, which, of course, everybody breaks down,
How can we not?
But that was back in the day.
That was back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've aged out.
As my girlfriend says, she goes, "You're not like that now." I go, "No." She goes, "You haven't changed. You just got old." I go, "Yeah, you're right."
Because the instincts don't really ever change. It's
No.
just how you deal with
No, you're right.
it. Oh, man.
You're like those. I always say it's like those old lions, and they see the gazelles passing, and they just growl at them, but they don't want to get up and go.
But they know what they want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're like, right.
I'm more comfortable with a bag of chips.
Yeah.
Over here.
Yeah.
Do you like do you drink at all?
No.
No, you're done with the drinking.
Yeah, I ended that a long time before
I didn't know
started
that.
comedy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Not a one drink.
No.
That's amazing. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I quit about 33 years ago before I
God.
started comedy. One of the reasons I started comedy was I had nothing to do at night, and I was going crazy.
So you went into it. Were you good right away
What do you mean?
at comedy?
No.
No.
I mean, I was good to comedians. I've always been that one that comedians always liked, but I was not good to the crowd. No, the crowd didn't like me.
I hear, it's funny because I spoke to Todd Barry yesterday, and I always hear this about you or a guy like Todd Barry, a comedian's comedian.
Right.
What, I don't know, is that because there's structure and form, or what is that? What does that mean?
No, it's sort of just like we just speak, on their frequency, I think. You know what I'm saying?
You connect with them.
Yeah. Something about you. You're not trying to.
Would the world be a better place if we all were like comedians?
No.
No.
No. I mean, the way we think is interesting and more equitable, I guess, but just the buildings would not be built. That's a good point. Oh my God, just
A lot of people dying in ER
a
rooms.
lot of people getting up 11:30 in the morning and 12 o'clock, staying up late talking the entire time. Nobody wants to get hands on and fixed. Not a lot of mechanical stuff going on.
But there's no bullshit. Like you guys.
Yeah, but it's theoretical.
I guess. Yeah. Okay.
It's no bullshit, but it's still theoretical.
It's still theoretical.
You still need people that are willing to shut up and get to work, and that's not comedians.
God, could you imagine ever having to do a 9 to 5?
I did do 9 to 5s. I used to cry in the shower every morning.
I
I used to cry in the shower. I was like, oh my God.
Isn't that amazing? How people can do that?
I mean, they always go, it's so brave to do comedy. I think what they do is braver.
Oh, no doubt. Sitting
I
in a
agree.
cubicle?
Getting up, getting on that train packed in with commuters. It's tough.
Groundhog Day.
It's hard.
Oh, God, poor people. They don't even know what they're missing.
No, I mean, but in some ways they get something good too that we don't get.
Stability.
They get stability, and they get a part of the human experience that we don't necessarily have. You know what I mean? You have to control yourself when you're your own boss, because you also get very unwieldy mentally. A lot of people lose their minds because they're, it can make you very flabby mentally.
Yeah, well, and then it's being a yes man your whole life, I would imagine being tough.
Yeah, well, you have to be tough because you have to go, I'm doing this for my family. You have to put your family above yourself. I mean, there's something noble about that, too.
You're right. That's a sweet way to look at it.
It's the truth, though,
It's the only. Well, hopefully more people can take pride in what they do, because I think if people take more pride in what they do, it'd be a happier society. It's the way it is. We all want to be the next Instagram model.
Like Japan.
There's a lot of
Japan. When I went to Japan, I couldn't believe it. They're everybody's just zen into what they do.
and respectful and hierarchy.
I know.
Right?
That's never going to happen. And it won't happen in America. Maybe it could happen here.
It's
There's
too
no way.
It's too-
America's everybody there has the same shitty attitude that I have. Everybody. Some admit it, some don't. Now, there's some very humble people in America, but
Are you?
I don't know many.
Are the Knicks going to do good this year?
Oh, come on. Leave us alone.
Melo just took off.
The Knicks, I know. We needed that, though. I
Yeah,
hate to
you
say.
did. Yeah, get some young guys.
Yeah, but I mean, the Knicks I feel like the Knicks are cursed, I feel like the Jets and Knicks are cursed. I feel like there's an energy in Madison Square Garden that's just cursed the Knicks since the 70s, and the same for the Jets since like 73.
What's this? The Oakley and the owner there.
Dolan and Oakley?
Yeah. What the did they disrespect Oakley there?
I don't remember what happened. Oakley came. No, Oakley was doing something crazy.
Oakley got a bit nuts.
Yes, he was pushing the guy.
He's pushing the guy, but
I
he's
forget
fucking
what
Charles
happened.
Oakley.
I know, but so what? I know big didn't.
Oh, it isn't. I don't know.
He's big. You have to push people around.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I kiss ass.
But I mean,
athletes,
but
though.
James Dolan's a notorious jackass. You ever hear? You know, he's just one of those guys. You know.
He's the douchebag.
Yeah.
He's
Yes,
the
he is.
Bradley Cooper in Wedding Crashers. Like he's that
Yes.
guy. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure both of them are guilty on that one.
Did
but
you?
I mean,
sorry, just because Sam Burns is here waiting patiently, and Sam, great looking kid. Look at this
yes,
guy.
he
eh?
is. Look,
I
he
know.
looks
Thank you
15.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Great hair on you.
Yeah.
When you did Trainwreck with Amy Schumer and
Right.
stuff, playing her dad, did you? I forget. Did you meet LeBron there? Were you
No,
no.
I went to the party, and then he was standing next to me, and I forget what happened, but it was like he was like, "Oh, some other fan." And I was like, "Look, LeBron, let's not make this an issue." I'll drop you, buddy. Come here. You want to show fan?
Yeah, screw LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Colin, did you enjoy your time here?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I would talk to you more, but Sam's a young comedian. I don't want
Sam's
to be
chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Do you have any questions for Colin Quinn?
No, just a big fan. It's really cool.
Thanks.
Very nice to sit and look at you and just.
As a
kinda-
young comic, do you get a little nervous when you see
Oh yeah.
that? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
totally.
a cool feeling, right?
Yeah,
Do
it's
Colin,
cool.
do you ever get that feeling for guys?
Who's left that I can get that feeling for?
That's amazing. I mean, I think, if your buddies with Seinfeld and these guys.
Yeah, all those guys. I know them all.
Rock and
I know them all from day
Chappelle
one. Yep.
and all of them.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And you still talk to them today.
No, I mean, if I see them, I talk to them, but I don't run into people.
You know what my favorite guy in the world is?
Who?
George
Sam Burns?
Sam Burns. George Wallace.
Great guy.
Is he not?
Nicest guy around.
Everyone should be like George
Yep.
Wallace.
And he was like that when I started as a bartender at the comic strip, and all these people would come in, even the young comedians, and I was just an amateur comic, but I was trying to bartending, and everybody was just kind of ignored. You know, I was like the face behind the bar. George Wallace came in, gave me a tip, $5, which was a lot of money back then. It was like the 80s. Gave me $5 tip for one drink. Came back 3 weeks later and goes, Cullum. And I was like amazed. He almost remembered my name. So he's always been
Just
like
knew.
that.
Just
Great.
that's a Sam. Do you are you a nice guy to people coming up?
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
Sam.
terrible. yeah. No.
We
Burn
don't. I don't
bridges.
feel like. I feel like we don't. How much time do we have here?
Sam's got a bad attitude.
Sam, yeah, you're
I'm a bad boy, man.
That's what we all hear about you.
I'm the edgy guy.
Yeah, you're an asshole.
I'm
you're,
edgy.
It's crazy.
That's how we roll, baby.
I love it.
That's how we
dude.
do it.
All right, guys.
Well,
Thank
Colin,
you.
hey,
Thanks,
I
Todd.
do.
Stay.
I would love to get a picture with you somehow.
Sure.
So you know what I'll do? We have 5 minutes. I'll take a quick break anyway. I got to thank sponsors, and Sam, we'll end the show for the last
Yeah,
5 minutes.
let's do it.
Colin, thank you so much for your time.
The Todd Shapiro Show.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. You can subscribe over there, or you can watch another video over here. And I think this is the Daniel Bryan yes chant, so what the hell? Yes, Todd Shapiro Show. Daniel Bryan can't wrestle anymore. It's a very sad story.